Alright, now we are on to the second video for this week. We're talking about images. So we're in our Insert tab, and our cursor's where we want it to be. So we've got pictures and online pictures. Online pictures, you can upload stuff from your OneDrive, from Bing Image Search, or from Office Clip Art, or even from Facebook and Flickr. You can also go click regular pictures and it'll open up your picture library, which is all pictures of my dogs. And I'm not going to post any of those, but let's see what's on my picture backup for OneDrive. Oh, here's my camera roll on OneDrive, and there's a picture of my dog that we can use. So I clicked it, inserted it, it's downloading, and there it is. That's a puppy. That's who you hear barking in these videos occasionally. So here is this is a big photo. So one of the easiest ways to resize a photo is click and drag and make it smaller. I'm just grabbing the corner. This is a fairly manageable size. Word is, I mean, it's not Photoshop, it's not GIMP. If you're one of those people who wants more actual, like, really robust photo editing, you can, I think ACC might offer a discount on Photoshop. I don't know for sure, don't quote me on that. But there's also GIMP. It's a free open source software, and it's gotten pretty good in recent years, so definitely check that out. You can do things like change the contrast of your photos. So there's some, light editing that you can do. Change your colors. Woo! Add artistic effects, like Instagram filters. Again, less is more on some of these, so don't worry about them too much. You can also say add a border. And you can do different things with borders, changing your colors and your outlines and the weight of things. So, again, feel free to mess around with that. So I just made that one like translucent just around the rest of the picture. There's also something cool I want to draw your attention to, and that is insert caption. So, figure 1. You just type it in. You can label it as a figure, an equation, or a table. This is a figure since it's a picture. A table is like what we just discussed in the most recent video. An equation, I don't think any of you are working too much with representing mathematical equations in this class. But if you were representing an equation graphically, you would do that. So, figure 1, dog in sunlight. I'm going to center. So the one issue is that it's sort of hard to, there's this big old margin here that I don't really like. And also, if I want to say, oh, I really want this image here, well, then my caption is still here. So I would say make sure the image is where you want it if you're going to use the auto caption feature. So I'm going to move this here. So what I did was I clicked, and there's this 4-part arrow just beneath my cursor, and you can click and drag. I'm going to go back into this Picture Tools tab. So what I have now is I have this in the middle of my text, and it's sort of just cutting text off and looking weird. Actually, I'm going to bring this up and do this in here so there's more text to see. Okay. So, again, click and drag. So there's all this text around it, and it's kind of weird. So that's when we're going to deal with wrapping text. So here it's what's called inline. So it's inline, and inline doesn't look so good. So we have with text wrapping, and there are different kinds of text wrapping. So that one sets it up so all the text just wraps around this side, and the image is here. Here's one where the text is between. And you can adjust the text wraps too. So I've got it with the text between, but now it's tight. versus square. These aren't huge differences, but you can see it moving and adjusting. So play around with these. Why did it move so far down? There. Yeah. So basically different kinds of wraps. You can have, the photo disappeared entirely. Oh, it's all the way up here now. We're going to undo that. So we're going to have it like this. So the text can go through. It's not really, yeah. We can have it so it goes in front of the text, which really generally you don't want to do except in, oh, I see, and I clicked behind the text, and now it's behind the text and you can't even see it. So, you know, these wraps don't always work all that elegantly, but, so, this one's nice. I've just got this nice wrap, and you notice it didn't actually make it 2 columns. So if I keep adding text, eventually, as you can see, it's going to just start making full lines again. So again, it didn't create 2 columns, just created a wrap around the specific image. So that's an important one. You can crop your image. Again, not super robust, but for the needs of your project, you can probably get the job done. And I do want to point out that if you're inserting from online, clip art, it's not always cheesy, and it has gotten better in recent years, but there's still a certain degree of cheesiness about it. But let's just go and check out what they have on office.com. It used to be like this was stored in a database, like on your computer, and you would and so now this offers royalty-free cartoons and stock images, and I'm going to insert it. Oh, and it's huge. It takes up almost the whole page. But again, I'm just going to click and drag until I get the size I want. And again, I have these other effects and text wrapping to choose from. So, anyway, so that's the basics of photos. Now, in terms of shapes, so what I mean, what am I talking about when I say onto shapes? So, shapes. There are lots of shapes. Sometimes you might just want to say, oh, I'm going to use a photo here, but I don't have a photo yet, but I'm going to insert a rectangle here as a placeholder, and let's wrap the text around it. And now this is filled in blue. You can that was left over from another demo I was doing. But look, so I got it in blank. Now, so we don't know what the photo is going to be, but we know it's going to be roughly these dimensions, and it's going to go here. So it can be a placeholder, excuse me. But you can also, and again, be cautious with how you make use of your shapes, because you can go overboard with them. But say you want to draw attention to somebody. I went to shapes. I selected this arrow, and then I just deselected it because I showed you what I was doing again. So and I'm gonna draw my arrow. I'm gonna move it down, and now I've got a blue arrow. I don't know why it's defaulting to blue, but got a blue arrow pointing at my dog. And again, it opens up these drawing tools for things like wrapping text and doing outlines and color fills, alignment. So they can be used for emphasis. They can be used as placeholders. They can just do a whole lot of cool things. So those can be fun, but again, be cautious. Don't overdo it. Office also has this thing called Smart Art, which is kind of weird. I mean, it's cool. So, insert Smart Art. So these are things like, say you want to do a flow chart, or a circle, or a matrix, or draw a pyramid, or do a fancy list. Um, you can do that with these, and it gives you these really cool tools for just sort of filling in blanks. So let's put it in here. Um, Oops, I didn't mean to. Let's undo that. There. And again, you can do things like change your colors. Oh, I like that actually. Change your color scheme, change the type of chart, add shapes to it. And again, if we go into formatting, now these are harder. These are harder to sometimes wrap around text. But again, we have these shape fills, text fills. Um, if we want to actually work with text wrapping, here we click on arrange, and then we have our wrapping and positioning available to us. We can adjust the size just by clicking and dragging, or there's this size here where we can manually type in how big we want it. So those are some of these end up looking really, really nice and elegant, and some of them look wonky. But this is a good one, so it can be useful. Also wanted to point your attention to charts. So not everyone is doing things where they need to represent things with line graphs or pie graphs. But say you do, say you want to make one, how do you do it? Word, and especially in 2010 and 2013, has gotten really good at making that easy. So click chart. I want to make a pie chart because I like pie. We'll do the 3D pie chart today. And so what happens is then it opens up this little Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. Now, note that this isn't the same, this isn't actually inserted in your document the way that the Excel spreadsheet table was inserted into your document. This is independent. So, but I'm going to go and I'm going to make some data. Oops. So now I've made this data here in the Excel spreadsheet. And it has updated as I've typed it and hit enter. It's updated all of this as I go. I can close out, and I still have this chart right here. And again, it opens up chart tools. I can do things like change what design I want. I can change the chart type if I want, change the colors. I can work with specific data points by hitting select, and then this data range will open up. Or if I could just want to edit the data, like, oh, I got the fourth quarter number wrong. I hit edit data, our Excel spreadsheet pops right back up. And I can edit the data, and again, look, it just updates just like that. And then there are these sort of quick access layout and elements, design elements, and filters here. So click out of that. It's very easy to do a chart if that's what you need to do. And again, that little Excel spreadsheet will pop up anytime you need to go edit your data, which it's fantastic. Back in the day, it used to be much harder. Screenshots, most of you so I did want to touch on screenshots. Pretty much most of you already know how to do that, but you can go in with Word and select screen clipping and have it take a screenshot, or most computers have a button that looks something like, that has letters like PRTSC, and that stands for print screen. Sometimes they're in blue and you have to hit another button to access them, but they're there, and so you hit that button and you can, it takes the screenshot, and then you hit Control V and the screenshot inserts itself. So let me know if you need any of those, if you have further questions on those, but we've covered a lot of ground today. And have a good week.